Welcome, everyone. My name is Maureen Clancy. I'm from the Multilingual Office at Portland Schools. I'm just here to kick us off and help those of you who need an interpreter find the place to do that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Allison Perkins from our adult education program.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy that you came to this first webinar we are having for students who are going to be too old for high school and want a plan for next year.
Sorry, Allison, we have a question. Can I allow Katerina to ask her question?
Sure.
Yeah, Juliana. So, I can speak in my language or in English.
I can't hear you.
I said I can speak in English or in Portuguese.
Oh, English is great. Thank you.
And so I wish to know. So I wanna participate in this program because I wanna finish my high school. So, but I live in Westbrook. I just wanna know if I can.
Allison, if she lives in Westbrook, can she join us?
So Portland Adult Ed is part of Portland Public Schools. And we also have people from other communities, such as Westbrook and South Portland, that often take classes with us.
Yeah.
Because people move around. So we hope, we have probably, there are other schools for Westbrook and South Portland specifically that may have English language classes, but they don't have high school diploma classes. So we often have many of those students come to Portland Adult Ed.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you are in the right place, Katerina, and it's nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put Katerina back into the attendees.
Yes.
And we do have one other question, hand raised maybe, or no? Joel Kalala. Joel, I'm going to promote you and you can ask your question.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So I have a question. My question is like, I go to DNR school. I'm senior. I got finished this year. So I got my diploma for DNR school, and then I don't know like what I got doing in adult education again, because my God counselor taught me like gonna do the kind of like PAE. I don't know. It's like transition college. I don't know what I got doing again.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah, great question. I think Katerina and Joel are asking the exact questions of why we came together tonight.
So we will answer your question tonight there, Joel. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
So there are 4 of us from adult education here. And there are 2 of us who work at adult education, and we'll each introduce ourselves. And most importantly, we have 2 students from adult education. And both Jimmy and Naisha, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves so you have a chance to just hear us say hello and where are originally from. And Jimmy and Naisha can tell us also about their high school graduation, the year you're graduating in. So I'll just introduce myself first. I'm Allison Perkins. I am a teacher at adult education. I teach English in the high school diploma and college transitions programs. And I also work with Portland Public School seniors, helping them create a plan for what happens after high school, especially for multilingual students that may need to either finish high school at adult ed, or they may need to do more work on English before they're ready for college. Okay. And Naisha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hello, my name is Naisha Charles. I was born in South Sudan. I grew up in Uganda. I have two kids, a 13 years old and a 2-year-old. I came in the United States when I was 18 years old, back in 2008. I've been here for 12, almost 13 years. Should I continue?
And maybe we're going to have the slide. You'll tell your story in a little bit later. So I think that's perfect. Excellent.
Thanks.
And we're going to hear a lot from Jimmy and Naisha tonight. Jimmy, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Jimmy Bazonga. I'm a volunteer at Portland Adult Education. So I was a student for high school diploma and English student. So I came in the United States. I've been here for 2 years and a half. So I came here in 2019. I'm a father with 2 little kids. I earned my high school diploma at adult education 2021. So now like I told before, I'm a volunteer helping to do the placement test to determine the English level for the new student coming at Portland Adult Education.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yep.
And we also have Anya Hansen here.
Hello. Thank you for having me. My name is Anya, and I'm the academic advisor at Portland Adult Education. I work with students who are either completing a high school diploma or who are preparing for college with us at PAE. And I have been there for almost 20 years. And before that, I worked at Barber Foods in the workplace education program. And I absolutely love to work with students, and I'm excited to meet many of you in the future.
All right. I think I can share my screen now. We'll hope this goes successfully. Okay. Can everybody see my screen okay? Is it showing? Yes? Okay. So again, a very, very warm welcome. You may be familiar with Portland Adult Education, or we may be new to you because you haven't needed us before, but we are part of the Portland public school system. And it is a very welcoming place. We have a lot of resources for adult learners, and adult learners start at age 18. And you are now, you may be getting too old for high school, but now you're old enough for adult education, and we are here for you. You met everybody here. Again, you know, Jimmy just graduated last year with us. Naisha will be graduating with us in June of this year. I just want to also thank the community engagement specialist for helping us put this on tonight. When I go to high schools and I talk with students, these are the questions that I am usually asked. High school students have really good questions. Why finish high school? Why should I put in the time to finish? How do I finish high school? How long will it take? What's Portland adult education like? And you'll see it PAE in the slides. And what happens next? So the four of us are going to do our best to answer the questions that are here for you. And then when we're done, if you have more questions, we will do our best to answer any questions that you have. So the first question is, why finish high school? And Naisha is going to talk to us. The wonderful thing about Jimmy and Naisha is that they are young graduates, but also a little, past high school where they are adults. So are you. Anybody 18 and over is an adult. Naisha started her education at Portland High School and then needed to finish and then return to adult ed to complete. So Naisha is going to talk to us about why she thinks it was important for her to finish high school.
Hello, once again. It was so important for me to join Portland Adult Education so I can continue with my studies. As English is my second language, I wanted to join Portland Adult Education so I can keep learning English. That was really great for me. I improve a lot of my English now. And the second reason that I wanted to join Portland Adult School is for long-term skill. Like, I want to do more steps, like getting a high school diploma. And I worked with Anya. She helped me a lot. She transferred my grade from Portland High School to Portland Adult Education. So I continue from there. Continuing at Portland Adult Education, it helps a lot because if you get your high school diploma, it helps when you get a job, because most of the jobs in America, they ask, do you have a high school diploma, which is really good with the pay. So you get a high pay when you have a high school diploma. And having a high school diploma, it opens doors for jobs, and you can continue with college. Because if you don't have a high school diploma or a GED, you can go to high school diploma. You can go to college if you don't have a high school diploma or a GED. That's why Portland Adult Education is really good, and it helps for that. And having a high school diploma, it really helps to make you feel proud, like you get high pay. It's really great to have a high school diploma. It helped me a lot. I joined it. Now I'm going to join hair beauty school, be able to work at a salon.
Thank you, Naisha. And Jimmy, do you want to add anything to, this is an amazing list that you just gave us, Naisha, of what was important. And did you want to add anything to that for you personally, Jimmy?
Yes. I can say I always wanted to learn anything new in my life. So I didn't share with all of you that before coming here, I live in Brazil for 9 years, where I learned so many things like a language, Portuguese, that I speak now. PAE remains fundamental to begin my life here in the United States. So getting this country in 2019, I was wondering numerous questions such as where and when could I start? And who could hear me? Who? So I didn't have anyone here because I was myself with my family. And I wondered again, so how could I build my family here in Maine? Then PAE, Portland Adult Education, has been necessary for all this question. So now I'm talking with you. I earned the high school diploma at adult education. Yeah, go to your mommy. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Go to your mommy. No. Vai na mamãe. Vai na mamãe. I'm so sorry. I heard the high school diploma at Portland Adult Education. I feel comfortable to take care.
I eat the chocolate.
Let's go to your mommy. So, mommy, go to mommy. Go talk to her.
I eat the chocolate.
Yeah, mommy's there. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
It's not a problem, Jimmy.
I'm so sorry.
I think what you just showed us, is that, going to school as an adult, is different than the students who have come here. They've already started because they're in an American high school, but they're very soon going to be having an adult life, which could include a job, it could include family. And you and Naisha are both wonderful examples of having moved into adulthood, and you need to make different decisions about what's going to work for you. So thank you. And, your son was welcome to sort of show us what it takes to do that. And I appreciate that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
Not a problem.
That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Another question I think that every student that comes to adult ed asks, and every student I've ever talked with in high school asks, is how long will it take for me to get my high school diploma? And Anya is going to help us understand how that works.
Yes, it is a tricky question because it is, there are 3 important factors, 3 things to think about that we have to consider. First is, how many credits will you bring with you when you come to Portland Adult Education from a high school in Maine or from high schools in other countries? So we have to consider that question. The second is, how much time, once you begin taking classes at Portland Adult Education, will you have for study? How many classes could you take per term? And how much time do you have for homework? So that's the second important consideration. The third is what level of English language, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, will you bring to the work at PAE? Because we want you to graduate at a specific level at a minimum. And part of the work is earning the credits, and part of the work is building your language so that you will be able to work in good jobs and continue on with college in your future. So when people ask the question, how long, I say, we have to sit down, we have a meeting, one-on-one, just me and you, and we talk through all of these three possible factors in determining a possible plan for how long it might take. And we talk about how fast or how slow you want to go. This is very different than high school because we're not here for you for 4 years or a specific amount of time. We're here for you as long as it takes to finish the diploma. Thank you.
Okay. Since many of you here are high school students and in an American high school now, and Naisha went to Portland High School, so she experienced American high school. Often people want to know, how is adult ed different than American high school? And there are many differences. And there are some things that are the same. One of the big differences is that it is voluntary. So it is your choice to continue your education at adult education. And there is more of an expectation of people working like independent adults do. We have support, but again, it's your choice that you're choosing to continue your education. We have a wide variety of ages at adult ed, from starting at 18 all the way up to 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I think we are having more and more young people start at adult ed. I think at first, high school students can be a little worried that, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to be with people of all different ages, especially that are older. And I think many younger students have discovered that people who already have a career going and are experienced and are learning alongside of you can be a wonderful, wonderful classmate that you can learn with and you can learn from. Our schedule is different because it is designed for adult learners. And when students go to American high school, most students are going to school every day, 5 days a week, for 6 hours a day. It is full-time school. And it is a gift to be able to have all of that time for your learning. And I would encourage all of you to take full advantage of that opportunity from now until the end of the year. Once you come to adult ed, most adults come to school part-time, and they also have family obligations and they have work obligations. And so we offer classes in 3 trimesters. So we have a fall semester, a winter semester, and a spring semester from the beginning of September until the end of June. And they are classes start and finish within that trimester. We have classes, usually the classes, it depends. They're either once or twice a week, 4 days a week. It depends on the program you're taking. But a common schedule for high school diploma classes is that they are once or twice a week for 2 hours with a teacher. And then you have homework to do that is more similar in some ways to a college schedule, where you're expected to be doing independent work also. Often adults will change their schedule semester to semester because all of the sudden somebody's working during the day and now they would like to take classes at night. So we try and offer a variety of classes at different times that are both in person, and some have been remote during the pandemic, and some of them will continue to be remote. So full-time versus part-time is a big difference. At high school, you're with the same group of kids all the time. At adult ed, you may have different people in different classes. Different people in your math classes are different people than are in your history class or your English class. And we also have additional programs. And I'm going to go to the next slide. And Anita, if you are still on the call and wanted to just mention the different programs, this would be, it would be wonderful to hear from you. Are you here that you could do that? Our director from adult ed, I think, is in the call.
Yep, she should be there, Allison. I just promoted her to panelist.
Okay. And I'm not sure if she's right here. So I just wanted to, yep, here she is. Yay, Anita. So I'd like to, we're so lucky that the director of adult ed is able to be here, and she holds the whole school and picture in her head. So I was sorry to put you on the spot, Anita, but it would be great if you could mention the programs that we have.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. Again, looking at the slide that we have here, I guess that's what I will talk about. We talked a little bit about high school diploma classes. We also have something called the High Set, which is for people who might know GED. It's another way to get your high school diploma that is available at Portland Adult Ed. College transition classes, that is Anya, and she can talk more about that, but it is to help anybody who wants to go to college, whether you have your high school diploma already or not, and you want some support around, what is available for me. And we also have some career classes ourselves. If you look over to the right, the workforce training is where we have some programs that we teach ourselves. So we have classes for people who want to become bank tellers, and we have classes for people who want to become CNA or certified nursing assistant. But we also have other classes that will help you to get ready for a different career. So we have bookkeeping and Excel and how to use a computer and all kinds of things. And then the third button here of the 4 is English language classes. And those range from people who speak no English to students who are simply, their English is good, they want to improve their writing or their pronunciation, and they just want to improve their English because they want to go to college and they want to have academic language, even though they can speak day to day, and they do very well. So those are the kinds of programs that we have. And the other thing I will just mention, I did put in the chat, but there are other adult ed programs in the county. For instance, there is one in Westbrook, and they sometimes have programs very similar to ours, although ours is the biggest. But those are the kinds of things that we can tell you where different programs are. Does that cover what you needed me to say?
Thank you so much, Anita. I really appreciate that. We're all happy to hear from you.
Well, it is nice to be here, and I appreciate everybody who's coming. I hope to see you at Portland Adult Ed at some point.
And Anya is going to tell us a little bit more. I think, Joel, this is what you were wondering about. Like, if you are graduating from high school, or even if you're going to finish your high school diploma with us, then not sure what comes next. And so Anya is going to tell us about these options.
Yes. We have, in the past 2 years, introduced a program that really focuses on students who will be graduating in June from a Portland high school or a high school outside of Portland, and need extra support. And their guidance counselors, are often not working in the summer, whereas we have special counselors who could assist during the summer with things that a student may have begun but not finished during the school year. And that could include getting enrolled in or registered in college classes, filling out financial aid forms, any kind of support or assistance to help make sure that the student gets started in the fall with their plans for attending college. So that is a new program, College and Career Access. And the College Transitions program that Anita and Allison have mentioned is designed for a student who has a high school credential, has a diploma, or passed the high set exam, or passed the GED exam, and just feels they need more time, more preparation to be fully ready for college. And so that may include getting ready financially, right? So applying for scholarships. It may include brushing up on math so that you can pass the Accuplacer exam. It's sometimes also just about building confidence so you feel really ready. And when you start college, you start at your strongest. And as I mentioned, I'm the advisor for that program also. So thank you.
Thank you. So everybody's getting a really good taste of all the programs that are available at adult education. Most of these are free. So you would be continuing high school diploma or college transition programs or summer melt at no cost. And we're very lucky within Portland to be able to have that option for you. Another question, and I think Naisha and Jimmy could respond to this, is, what is what is it like to be a student at adult ed? And I put down some of the words we use to describe adult ed, that we value community, we value curiosity, we value commitment. And I was wondering if Jimmy and Naisha could talk about what this feels like to you of being a student at adult ed. What's it like?
Yeah. So about Poland adult education. So when I got taking the high school diploma program. So I have two things that I kept in my mind that I was sure that there's two things I can get my high school. I can get success. So it's a commitment. So a commitment. It was is a field for my life that keep me to working step by step until earning my high school diploma. So in the commitment, we can see the teacher and student. Student give some homework. Everyone see like two kids, it's not easy, but so I keep focus, concentrate to learn, to do my homework. Even my daily life was a challenge, but so this was a motto for me. And the community, this is the main important thing in Portland, adult education, the community. So in the community, like we see the colleagues, the classmates, I try to help all of them just to keep our class toward the objective. So the objective was a success and getting the high school diploma, and we got it. So that's why I say thank you, adult education.
And Naisha, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what the other students are like. What does it feel like to be, especially because you were at Portland High and now you're at adult ed? Like, what does that feel like as far as from a student's view?
It was really great working at Portland Adult Education. I mean, going to school at Portland Adult Education, working with different students, and it was a lot of help. Like they had tutors. Like I was struggling with science, and I got another student from, I think she was from college or different school, but she came in to help me. Like she was helping me with my science. So it was really good. There's a lot of help at Portland Adult Education. I did go a lot of struggle with my life home stories. Like I had a child and I thought that, okay, I have a child. It's going to be really hard for me to continue with school. I drop off and I go back. I stopped and go back because I really needed that high school diploma. Without that high school diploma, I couldn't continue with my dreams, like what I wanted to do in my future and get high pay. And so working at Portland High School helped me a lot. Adult school, it helped me a lot. Working with the teachers are really great. They helped me a lot.
Thank you, Naisha. It's a very international feeling school. We have people from all over the place. There are, like I said, I think, the joy of being a teacher there or a student there is that we learn from each other. People have really interesting stories. They have interesting backgrounds. And people are committed and interested in both learning and in each other. And I think it's a nice feeling community of adults that try and support each other. And I just wanted to remind people we're going to have time for question and answers where you could ask questions. We've got just a slide here about like what happens next, especially if you're in high school right now and you know that you're 20 or 19, but you're going to turn 20 before June 30th. That means that you can no longer attend Portland or Deering or Casco Bay. And that's when we get to welcome you at Adult Ed and help you complete your high school diploma with us, or continue with college transitions if that's of interest. So what happens next? Hopefully you're getting a lot of good information tonight. We'll have time for questions and answers. We have an intake. I'm sure most of you did an intake at Multilingual when you first arrived in the United States. And that's to get basic information and to figure out what your level of English is so that we can decide what classes are the best match for you at adult education. Jimmy helps volunteering in the intake department, so you may be seeing him there. There's two parts to the intake. One is doing a writing sample and filling out some forms, and the other is a reading test that all students take. And I'm going to be coming to your school to do that first part where we can just sit together in a room. I can answer more questions. Hopefully either Jimmy and Aisha or some other students from Adult Ed that are your age can come with me. So I will meet you at your school in May. And then at the end of May or beginning of June, we would really like you to come to Adult Ed so you can see our school, meet some of the students that are here, see what the classrooms look like, get a feel for the vibe of this community we were talking about. And then in the summer, you will, I'll help you to schedule an appointment for after July 1st to come to Adult Ed and do the test. And you'll do the best you can on it. And I hope you do the best you can for the rest of the year, because Anya said, your level of English is important so we can get you on the strongest start possible at Adult Ed. And after you have done our intake, then you will make an appointment to meet with Anya Hansen, who is our high school diploma coordinator. And we will help you register for classes. Do you want to say any more regarding that process, either Jimmy or Anya? Good?
I think it's good.
Okay. So I want to show you a couple of pictures before we go into questions and answers. And I know that those of you who are at American High School, if you are not graduating, it is really hard to be at American High School as a senior when everybody is talking about graduation and prom and the college I'm going to. And you know that this is just going to take you a little more time, that you are going to be able to accomplish this dream too, of finishing high school and going to college and having a career. I wanted to reassure you that we celebrate big at Adult Ed, our graduation. We have a big ceremony at Merrill Auditorium. You can invite your friends and family. Our superintendent is going to be there congratulating you too. You get a diploma that it has the same value as the one that you would get from Portland or Casco-Pay and Deering. It will say Portland Adult Ed because you're graduating with a different school. And here's a couple of pictures from our graduation. So you can see that here are our wonderful grads at graduation day, cap and gown and the hat and a diploma and speeches and music and celebration. Here is a picture of the superintendent and Anita, who you heard from, delivering the hard-earned diploma. And usually after, there is a lot of picture posing and celebration outside of Merrill Auditorium. So this is just take this picture in because you will be in this picture when you finish your high school diploma. I wanted to, what we're going to do next is come out of our language rooms and be all together. I have a survey to put in the chat so that we will know how to contact you and know what information you want most. And we are all here with plenty of time to be able to answer your questions.
All right, Allison, I am promoting everyone to panelist so that they can talk. And then I will turn off the interpreter function so that the interpreters can get out of their rooms and help us out. Need 2 more seconds to get everybody in there.
And I'm going to just put this link to a short Google form for people to be able to have access to. So we would know how to contact you and your interest.
All right.
So please feel free to ask any questions that you have for those of us that are here.
Para fazer qualquer pergunta.
All right. It looks like a few people just want to stay as attendees, so that's fine. So I see a hand raised by Betsy. Betsy, do you have something to add?
Yes, I have students who have two questions. So the first one is we left Portland High a year ago. So what would be the process for us?
You are welcome to reach right out to me. I'm happy to talk with anyone at any point in the year to talk about when you could join us.
Entonces, ponerse en comunicación directamente con la señora Anya Hanson y ella puede ayudar para ver cuándo ustedes pueden iniciar la clase.
So let's let Monique interpret that in Lingala and then Juliana in Portuguese.
Can you repeat the question, please, Betsy?
That we are both students who have been out of high school, out of Portland High for the last year. What would be the process for us?
Mutuna ezali soki aussi saki école secondaire il y a 2 ans. Ndenge nini okoki kozonga na classe. Mutu ya kotala eza Anya Hanson ako contacte ye akosunga yo koyeba ndenge nini okoki kozongela classe na yo.
Se você terminou parou de estudar na educação regular e não concluiu o seu ensino médio, você pode entrar em contato com a senhora Anya Hansen, o contato dela está aqui no bate-papo, e perguntar para ela qual é o processo para você poder continuar os seus estudos para poder receber o seu diploma. So there's another question here from Joel. Joel, pode falar. Yeah.
It's me, what? Did you talk to me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have a question. My question is like the first list about PAE, like because I hear that one in school, and then I'm great like the miss explain to us what's gonna doing when I go for PAE, and then I don't know like how many here can take for transition college. I don't know like how many here can take for transition college firstly, and then I don't know like how when gonna take like the test for maybe for college test. That's what I don't know. Thank you.
Joel, I think it's the kind of thing that I will be able to give better answers if we were sit down and have a meeting. I have half-hour conversations to understand your situation and answer every question that you have. And both Jimmy and Naisha could speak about why it's best to sometimes answer these questions in that kind of a meeting.
And Joel, I just wanted to say that Anya, and for everyone else here, Anya has put in the chat. Do you know how to look for the chat? She's put her email, her Portland Schools email, as well as her phone number. So you can all make an appointment to talk with Anita. Do you want to let them know that, Betsy and Monique and
Joël? Donc, Joël, Anna a mis son email dans les chats que tu peux prendre et que tu peux aussi l'appeler. Et ces questions que tu poses sont des questions qui sont plus faciles à répondre quand tu es en présence de la personne. Donc, comme ça, on ne peut pas déterminer combien de temps tu vas faire et l'horaire que tu auras. Donc, il faudrait que vous vous asseyez ensemble et la conversation prend souvent à peu près 30 minutes. Donc, une fois que vous êtes là en train de discuter, il va voir ce que tu as et ce que tu as besoin. Et à partir de là, elle peut te dire combien de temps ça va. Et puis, la détermination que toi, tu as et le temps que tu y mets pour apprendre va aussi impacter.
E vou também explicar àqueles que falam português. Se vocês têm uma pergunta sobre qual é o tempo que vai levar para vocês fazerem a preparação da transição para a universidade, vocês precisam marcar um encontro com a senhora Anya. O contato dela está aqui no bate-papo, aqui nessa telinha embaixo tem o chat. Você pode olhar, o nome dela é Anya Hansen. Tem aqui o endereço de e-mail dela e o telefone dela, 842-4611. E a melhor maneira de responder essa pergunta é quanto tempo vocês têm para se dedicar à sua transição, quanto tempo vocês têm para participar das aulas e quanto tempo vocês vão ter para se dedicar às tarefas. E isso é a melhor maneira dela responder, é você sentar com ela por 30 minutos e explicar toda a sua situação e o seu histórico acadêmico, e a Anya vai poder responder as suas perguntas com mais clareza.
Betsy, do you need to say it in Spanish? You're all good?
No, I'm good. I texted the boys. There.
Okay, great.
Yo les mandé el mensaje y la información de la señora Hanson. Okay, Olvin y Walter. So chequeen su WhatsApp.
All right.
If you are still in high school now, the most important thing that you can do is continue to go to school every day and learn as much English as you can and earn as much credit as you can before the end of the year.
Se vocês ainda estão a estudar numa escola regular, numa high school, o mais importante que vocês podem fazer nesse último ano que vocês têm o direito de permanecer aí é continuar a frequentar o máximo de aulas possíveis que você possa frequentar para fortalecer mais o seu nível de inglês. Isso é o mais importante nesse momento.
Si tu es encore à l'école secondaire, il est préférable que tu continues à aller à l'école. Et le temps que tu passes est plus important pour toi d'acquérir des connaissances d'anglais et de gagner un peu plus de crédit pour toi. Donc, essayez d'y aller régulièrement et jusqu'à la fin de l'année.
Entonces, para ustedes, ellos están refiriéndose a los estudiantes que están actualmente todavía en la escuela, de la importancia de seguir asistiendo para continuar recibiendo los créditos. Eso.
And as Naisha said, she came from Portland High School, so she was able to bring her credits to Portland Adult Education. Very important. You don't start over. If you have credits already, we honor those credits and then you add to them.
E o importante também é que se vocês terminarem os créditos que vocês estão a cursar nesse momento, esses créditos se transferem para a educação de adultos. Então, não somente fortalecer o seu nível de inglês, mas também terminar os créditos, porque se vocês simplesmente abandonarem as classes, não vão receber os créditos. E você não vai iniciar do zero quando chegar na educação de adultos. Nós vamos aproveitar todos os créditos que vocês trouxerem da escola, da high school.
Comme Naisha l'a dit, quand vous êtes à l'école secondaire, il y a certains crédits que vous gagnez. Donc, quand vous allez à Adult Education, ces crédits-là sont comptés. Vous prenez tous les crédits que vous avez gagnés à l'école secondaire et vous amenez ça à Adult Education. Et à partir de là, on va considérer ces crédits que vous avez gagnés et vous allez travailler en fonction de cela.
Entonces, me acabas de hacer esta pregunta. No, cuando vas a la escuela de adultos, no vas a comenzar de cero. Todos los créditos que ustedes se ganaron en la Portland High, todos esos créditos se van a transferir y entonces ahí van a ver qué es lo que le falta a ustedes. Todos esos créditos que ustedes obtenieron, ya cuando estaban estudiando allá, todo eso viene. No van a empezar de cero.
So even if it may feel very difficult to keep going to school when the other students are graduating and you are going to be continuing next year, but don't forget, every credit you can earn is a credit that already is moving you towards your high school diploma. So keep your motivation, what Jimmy was saying, Naisha, just keep that motivation going to keep moving forward.
Às vezes é um pouco frustrante que todo mundo vai se formar, vai se graduar e você vai continuar frequentando as aulas. Mantenham-se motivados, porque cada crédito que você cumprir é um crédito no seu bolso.
Si vous allez à l'école et que vous voyez que vos copains de classe ont eu leur diplôme, gardez la motivation d'aller à l'école. Continuez à garder cette motivation, puisque cela va vous aider aussi à gagner un peu plus de crédits qui vous permettront de ne pas passer plus de temps, puisque ces crédits que vous gagnez à l'école secondaire seront tenus en considération quand vous arrivez à Adult Education, et cela va vous gagner plus de temps de ne pas rester longtemps.
Entonces, otra vez, muchachos, están hablando sobre la importancia de seguir asistiendo a la escuela para tratar de obtener esos créditos. Sé que esa no es la situación de ustedes en este momento, no voy a continuar.
And one last thing, and Jimmy can help me with this. So for the students that are not in school, they stopped going to school was it Portland High, Betsy?
Portland High. Mm-hmm.
Stopped going last year. We are welcoming you, and you could begin the process now. Of scheduling to see Anya, scheduling to take an intake, because we have a new semester that begins the end of April. You do not need to wait to get started until September.
Entonces, lo que podemos hacer con ustedes pueden comenzar el proceso ahorita. Pueden comenzar y hacer esa reunión con la señora Hanson, porque ya va a iniciar un semestre nuevo. Fuera bueno si ustedes se pueden comunicar con la señora Hanson para reunirse con ella y comenzar ese proceso.
What else do you have for questions? Walter has a question.
Walter, yeah, unmute Walter.
He just, it's okay. So, Walter, estoy asumiendo de que tienes la mano
He's here.
alzada
He's here.
en la reunión.
Miss Betsy,
Dime.
yo escuché que dijeron que el diploma de la high school es muy diferente al diploma de los adultos, y ahora mi pregunta es, ¿cuál es la diferencia?
So I've been hearing that the diploma that you get in high school is different than the diploma that you get in the adult program. Like, what is the difference?
If you want to apply for a job or apply to college, there is no difference. We count the credits differently. To graduate from Portland High School, you would need 41 credits. To graduate from PAE, you need exactly the same, except we cut the number in half. So you need 20.5. So you take the same number of credits. We count them slightly differently, but it is a diploma that is equal for all purposes that I'm aware of, right? I'm not aware of any reason why our diploma in adult education is different than one from a high school, other than saying it is from adult education.
Entonces, de que yo sepa, no hay ninguna diferencia o alguna razón por la cual los diplomas son diferentes cuando vas a solicitar un trabajo o cuando vas a solicitar a una universidad, se mira como el mismo diploma. Por ejemplo, en la Portland High, sí, you know what, I was unclear on that part, Anya, when you went into the credit part.
Okay, it's numbered differently, but it's the same total amount, right? It's an equivalent amount. It's an equivalent amount of credits.
Como ellos cuentan los créditos, quizás sea un poquito diferente, pero toma la misma cantidad o tiene el mismo valor al final de cuentas. So, el diploma es lo mismo, mijo. Ok, so cuando vayas a solicitar un trabajo, la universidad viene siendo lo mismo.
Oh, ok. Y mi pregunta es, porque un amigo de la high school se graduó, tiene el diploma, y bueno, queremos ir al Army, pero ahí nos dijeron que es diferente el diploma de la high school a la escuela de adultos. Okay. Y a mí me interesa obtener el diploma para yo poder ir con mi amigo, porque tenemos pensado de ir, pero no podemos porque yo no tengo el diploma.
So, and then, see, the thing is, I have another question. The thing is, I had a friend of mine who graduated, and he got his high school diploma. We both are wanting to go into the Army, but we were told that I need the high school diploma.
I think I understand. The Army and all the armed services prefer a diploma to a high school equivalency credential. So they don't want to see you pass the high set or the GED exam for a high school equivalency credential, right? They want to see what they call a job started and completed in the armed services, right? So they prefer a diploma. And I believe I've worked with a number of students who have earned their diploma with adult education, and it is that the armed services prefer a diploma to a high school equivalency exam.
Okay, Juliana, you want to answer while I figure out, you want to go ahead and start with Portuguese? So I can, I have to think about this.
A pergunta anterior que foi feita é com relação se o diploma da educação de adultos é diferente do diploma que é dado nas escolas de ensino secundário. Não, o diploma tem a mesma validade quando você vai aplicar para um trabalho ou quando você vai aplicar para uma universidade. A única coisa que é diferente é o número de créditos. Na escola secundária você tem que se graduar com 41 créditos. Na educação de adultos, a maneira como eles contam os créditos é diferente. E aqui nós chamamos 41 créditos, nós chamamos de 20,5. Mas é o mesmo número de aulas, o mesmo número de horas, aulas, é só uma maneira de contar os créditos é diferente. A outra pergunta que foi feita do colega aí em espanhol é que se, para ele entrar no exército, se é preciso obrigatoriamente ter um diploma da universidade, um diploma do segundo grau. Então, o que a Anya está dizendo é que é preferível você ter feito a formação acadêmica, ter estudado aquele tempo, ter tomado aulas e ter recebido um diploma, do que simplesmente passar em um teste de qualificação que diz que você tem um nível acadêmico do ensino de segundo grau. Ou seja, eles querem ver que o Exército prefere ver que você tenha tido aquelas horas aulas dentro de uma instituição para receber o seu diploma do ensino do segundo grau, do que você simplesmente chegar e eu passei num teste, eu tenho um nível secundário. Aqui temos outras perguntas, mas eu vou deixar a colega falar aqui em francês e a resposta da Betsy em espanhol.
Também tem uma pergunta, Juliana, pode me ajudar?
Vamos deixar ela responder aqui em espanhol, a gente coloca aqui no chat, Alice, yeah? Por favor.
Monique.
Ok, la question qui était posée était de savoir quelle est la différence entre le diplôme qui est attribué à l'école secondaire et le diplôme qu'on reçoit à Adult Education. La réponse est qu'il n'y a pas de différence entre les deux diplômes. C'est le même diplôme, mais la différence est que l'un est donné à l'école Deering ou Portland High ou Casco Bay et l'autre est délivré à Adult Education. Et la façon dont ils mesurent les crédits varie. Et la deuxième question qui était posée, c'était à savoir, j'ai un ami qui veut aller à l'armée, mais ils lui ont demandé d'avoir un diplôme qui vient de l'école secondaire. Adult Education offre des différents programmes. Il y a les programmes dont on a parlé, High, Set and GD. Pour que tu ailles dans l'armée, l'armée n'accepte pas ces diplômes. Ce sont des diplômes qu'on appelle des équivalences. Et ils veulent que tu puisses faire les high school diploma correctement à Adult Education. Donc, les crédits que tu as eu à Adult Education qui équivalent aux crédits qui sont donnés à l'école secondaire. Et ce sont les seules différences, mais c'est le même diplôme. Et sur le plan d'aller à l'université, les différents diplômes qu'on attribue à Adult Education te donnent une porte, t'ouvrent une porte pour aller à l'université et puis pour trouver un travail qui est valable.
So Anya, I just want to clarify because Walter is texting me here. So if he goes through to get his diploma through adult ed, he really wants to join the Army. He will be able to do that with this diploma.
Yes, but I would be happy to meet with, to speak with a recruiter if he's working with a recruiter, to verify before he starts the work. Actually, truthfully, the armed services sometimes change their rules. They do. And I'd be happy to confirm anything before the work begins.
So, entonces, Walter, lo que se puede hacer, la señora Hanson puede hablar, si estás hablando con alguien ya sobre ingresarte a las Fuerzas Armadas, quizás puede pasarle el número de esa persona. La señora Hanson puede hablar con ellos y enterarse bien. Ella te puede investigar para asegurar de que ellos van a aceptar este diploma. Ok, eso es algo que podemos investigar.
I wanted to just pause for 2 seconds. Naisha has to go to work, so she wanted to say goodbye.
Naisha veut vous dire au revoir.
Thank you, Naisha.
Thank you, Naisha.
Goodbye, everybody, and I wish you a good luck for the people who are going to join the Poland Adult Education.
Thanks, Naisha.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask Walter if he was all set with his question. We have another question from Kavina.
Yes, I wanted to answer a couple of the chat questions.
Okay.
Walter, ¿eso te contestó la pregunta bien?
Sí, solo eso era nada más mis preguntas que tenía.
Yes, those were the questions I had. Thank you.
Awesome. I think I want to take, because this is kind of related. When Walter was talking about the test and Anya was mentioning the test, Katerina had a question of, can you enter the HiSET program without having all the credits I need? So there are actually, the HiSET is a test. So a person has an option to get it's a high school equivalency that you take a test of, it's a long test, 5 sections, English, science, math, social studies, and I believe writing. And your English level needs to be high to be able to pass all those sections. We have a HiSET coordinator here. We have students who do high school prep. And if a student has a advanced level of English, then that could be an option. Instead of taking the, instead of working on the credits to pass, to earn the high school diploma. And as Walter pointed out, for, you know, in Anya's conversation, it's not everybody, like it sounds like the Army did not want to have the test. I think our diploma is the same as another school's high school diploma, but a high school equivalency test is a whole different way to say, I didn't complete my credits, but I have the knowledge and the skills to show it in a different way by taking a test. And Anya, please add on to that.
Just to say that very simply that passing the test is based on, it's a time test. So you do have to be able to read and understand a lot of information. It is not designed for, it is designed for students who complete almost all of high school, but do not finish. But it is students who have had all of their education in the United States. So it is a tricky test to pass, but I'm always open to explaining it and to giving you a chance to try some software to see if it is a better and faster way to get your high school credential. That's always our interest, is what is the best and fastest way for you to learn what you need to get the credential you want.
All right. Can I allow Kavina to ask his or her question? All right. You can unmute, please, Kavina. Go ahead.
Kevin, estás com o teu botão mudo. Tira do mudo para você fazer sua pergunta. And Allison, I just wanted to make sure there's 3 questions that have been unanswered in the chat. So if you could kind of keep an eye on it. Tem 2 Joels aqui na reunião. There's Joel Kalala, who doesn't speak Portuguese, but there's another Joel that's asking a question in Portuguese, Mr. Kalala. So that answer was for him.
Kavina, do you have a question? You have to unmute.
Can you unmute her, Maureen?
Here she goes. Oh. Wow. I can ask her to unmute, but I can't unmute her.
I know how to.
Okay, so I'm going to go through the questions that I have been asked, okay?
I also have Marilinda, Marilda, who would like to go ahead.
Marilda, pode tirar do mudo para você poder fazer sua pergunta.
Go ahead, pode falar, Marida. Pode falar. A minha pergunta é o seguinte: qual é o nível
que para fazer o high school diploma que a gente tem que ter.
So my question is, what level of English do we have to be able to take the high school diploma program?
Much of the work that students would have to do would be from starting level 4. A student could start at any level of English, but the point at which they begin some of the work of high school diploma completion is typically at level 4.
Geralmente, Marilda, coloca o teu áudio no mudo. Isso, obrigada. Geralmente, eles podem começar a qualquer nível, mas para poder começar a fazer as classes específicas do high school, do nível do segundo grau, nós pedimos que o aluno esteja no nível de inglês nível 4. Mas ele pode começar para fazer as classes de inglês como segunda língua para até subir para o nível 4. Quando chegar no nível 4, ele começa já a cumprir as disciplinas da grade curricular do segundo grau. Não é isso, Allison?
Yes, at level 4, students often are taking math. They're taking English and math. And sometimes students will also choose to start taking some of our workplace classes, because those are also very interesting and people are learning English. And then some of the classes for science and social studies and language arts begin at level 5. But they can begin at level 4, starting to take other classes.
Algumas classes, eles só podem começar com o nível 5 de inglês, como, por exemplo, as classes de Language Arts, que são leitura e redação, são um nível mais avançado de inglês, mas algumas outras disciplinas você pode começar a partir do nível 4. There was another question too here about someone who's in a level, who's completed the 4th year of college, but doesn't really have the English. Where do they start?
So that is a student who is a perfect example for using our college transitions program, potentially to just developing academic English language proficiency.
Então, essa é a sua resposta, Alice. Você, a sua situação, que completou os 4 anos de estudo universitário, é um exemplo perfeito de uma pessoa que pode participar do programa de transição para cumprir, para aumentar o seu nível de inglês. Go ahead, Anya.
Yeah, and I do also see students with fully completed college and master's degrees working on high school diploma, simply to use it as a tool to improve their English for free.
Então, tem alunos que estão a trabalhar no seu mestrado e, ao mesmo tempo, estão a fazer aqui também, estudando na educação de adultos de graça, para poder melhorar o seu nível de inglês. Então, você pode estar matriculado numa universidade e, ao mesmo tempo, estar matriculado aqui no Adult Education para trabalhar no seu inglês mais rapidamente.
I think, Joel, when, for those of you who have a high school diploma from another country, or you're going to complete the high school diploma here at Portland High or Deering, the question becomes, to be successful long-term in the United States, and to go to college and to have a career, of how much English do you need? And so we have these students that Anya's describing. Jimmy had been to college in Brazil, that as people often become mature and an adult, there's a realization that I really want to improve my English as high as possible, and adult ed is free for students, so it's a wonderful option. So if your English is not college ready, but you have a diploma, then a college transitions is a really good choice. And we have many students, I think that was Alice's question too. We have many students at Adult Ed who already have a high school diploma from some country or a college degree, and they're here because of the community and the support and the excellent teaching to continue to learn.
That was for Joel, right, Allison? And comment to Joel's question. Joel Kalala.
Yes, I was looking at Joel's comments and hoping that it looked like he may be graduating and not sure what else do we offer. So I'm hoping I'm giving an idea of again, Adult Ed is a choice. It's voluntary. People don't have to come here.
And it's free English classes, right?
Yes, it's free. College costs money in the United States. And so being as strong as possible with English so that you can be successful in college and earn credit towards the degree is a reason sometimes people come to do college transitions work for us for free.
Alison, I would like just to say you should add English academic.
Yes.
Because sometimes we think we speak English and it's enough to go to college, which is not true. Myself, I came from my country with a doctor, a PhD, but I know I worked with Anya. I went to Portland Adult Ed when it was at Douglas Street, and I took my English classes. So, guys, you are very young. You need to learn English if you want to have a future or a better future in this country. Thank you.
A educação de adultos de Portland não só é para quem está querendo terminar o segundo grau, receber o seu diploma do segundo grau, mas também tem muitas oportunidades de desenvolvimento profissional que você pode fazer ao mesmo tempo que está desenvolvendo o seu idioma, a sua língua inglesa. Então, à medida que você pode fazer um desenvolvimento profissional, também está aumentando o seu inglês e também está aumentando a sua oportunidade de trabalho.
Hi, everybody. It's after 8 o'clock right now, so I'm going to stop the recording. And, I can leave the session open a little bit if people have some continuing questions, but I wanted to say thank you to Anya and Allison and Jimmy and Naisha and Anita for sharing this with us. Obviously, it's very important for our students, and there's a lot of questions. So thank you so much.